how do you staff a school when budgets are really tight? By the end of this video or podcast, wherever you're watching or listening, you're going to have 3 tips specifically for our school leaders out there on how to staff your school even when budgets are really tight. Hey, I'm Jonno, founder and principal consultant of Clarity, based in Brisbane, Australia, author of Step Up or Step Out, How to Deal with Difficult People Even If You Hate Conflict. And welcome to the Jonno Leadership Podcast. I'm so excited to have you with me. Thank you so much for subscribing, following, liking, sharing. If you haven't done that yet, please do that now. It really does help us to get the word out there to help more leaders become the very best they can be. And let's jump into it. So today we are talking specifically to our school leaders, although there are principles that apply to all of you, no matter what sector you're in, but to my school leaders. Hey, love you guys. It's the biggest sector we work in at Clarity. We work with lots of industries and lots of sectors, but we do a lot of work with the school sector around the world. And so how do you staff a school even if budget is really tight? I have worked with a lot of schools, and I feel like this comes up so often. One of the things that comes up again and again and again, regardless of location, to tell you the truth, is this sense of finding and keeping great staff is really hard. And I just want to start by saying I don't have a silver bullet. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It's true. It is really hard work. I do have some great ideas which I've seen work, which I really believe can work for you. But I just want to start by saying, yes, it is a challenge. It's worldwide. If you're experiencing that as a challenge, maybe just start by giving yourself a bit of grace, give yourself a pat on the back, that it's not just you. It is something that a lot of schools are finding challenging. But that does mean that if you can overcome this, it can be a really rich point of difference. And so the first tip I want to give you is to lead with values. You know, I work with schools often, some that are in the city, but also some that are regional. The challenge with regional schools is that you have a smaller pool of people who could work at your school. And so one of the opportunities or options for a lot of regional schools is to help people move. It's the same for city schools, but particularly for regional schools, people may need to move cities to come to your regional location. And I just want to tell you that you can motivate and inspire people to move their whole life. You can. I believe it. I've seen it happen time and time again. And it happens by leading with values. Okay? If you're talking to someone and saying, we need a new head of secondary, we need a new head of, head of high school, and so we want someone to be our superintendent of high school, and we want someone who's really great with curriculum, and we really want you to have a really big focus on people. And now they're all true things, but your head of secondary or the superintendent of a high school somewhere who's reading your job ad or watching your video as you talk about it, however you do it and put it out there, that's not going to make them move cities, unfortunately. They would have to be really driven or extremely disappointed and frustrated with where they are to up and move cities based on just a job. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but if I'm in your shoes, I want to so compel people's hearts that they move cities to come and work at my school. And the way you do that is you lead with values. You say to your head of secondaries out there, if you're looking for that role, or your superintendent of high schools, you say to them, hey, our school, you know what we're about? Our school, more than anything else, is really about the future of our kids. I know a lot of schools are about the academics, but our school's about this 30-year-old alumni, Bob, who we had from year 1 to 12 at our school. And for him, we played a really big part in helping shape him to now be, the dad he is, and the husband that he is, and really for his career, he's taken this alternative route, and we supported him in that because we wanted to help him make a difference in the world. Okay, suddenly I'm leaning in, because if that's a shared value, the beauty of doing this is that the people who don't share your values will skip and move on. The people who do share your values, you light something up in them, and that's what makes people move cities. So if you want to, if you've got a really tight budget, then consider leading with values so that people might actually come to you. People will up and move their lives, and it means you're relying less on big paychecks for people and more on values. You still want to reward people appropriately and compensate them, and as much as you can, you want to celebrate great effort but I understand budgets are tight, and so leading with values is the first thing I'd say. The second thing I'd say is to go wide. Go wide, look out there. It comes back to the first tip, they're connected, because a lot of places I see just go to their network, or they go in a little job ad site, and it's like, you know how much money schools spend on problem staff? If you get this hire wrong, if you bring in 10 school, graduate educators who 5 of them end up leaving after a year, and 2 of the other 5 end up being a nightmare to manage, do you know how much time, money, and frankly loss of vision achievement your school has from those people? Like a lot of money worth, a lot of people's time and money. So why not up front spend whatever you can and find creative ways to get the word out there? Go outside of your network. And there's creative ways you can do that through LinkedIn. There's creative ways you can do that. If you don't have the budget like we're talking about, then go and connect with some people interstate and say, can you put the word out? We're looking for this role in case anyone's thinking of moving to blah, 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 where we are. They might be interested. So write your job ad. That's free. You can do that. Lead with values. That's the first tip. But the second tip is then get that into as many people's hands as possible. Because if you lead with values, the right person somewhere will read it. It'll light up their heart and they'll go, this could be the opportunity for me. And that's how you get more people into your school. The third tip I want to tell you is to wait. This is a hard one for schools because this isn't always realistic. I understand that. But where you can, if you haven't got the right person, wait. It's so true. Slow to hire, fast to fire. It sounds a bit harsh, and it probably is. It's not that simple, we know. But slow to hire, gee, that's true. If you can be slow to hire, if you can take your time, find the right person. If you're not confident that you've got the right person and there's any way possible to wait, then wait. Because this is the number one thing, in my opinion, that organizations can do to fast track success is to shift your upfront HR processes to bring in the right people. It makes everything else easier. There's for so many reasons. So get this right, wait for the right person, wait for the right people, and then when they turn up, do everything you can. So they're the 3 tips I have. I know school budgets are tight. I hope this video or this podcast really helps you, to my school leaders out there, to find and keep great staff even when you have a really tight budget. And I'll be cheering you on because I know it's a challenge across the world for educators, but I really believe that if you can articulate the values of your school and who you are, then you can find the right people from close and far. Even if your packages in terms of money, etc., aren't as big as other places, it's amazing what people will sacrifice when they find somewhere that inspires the heart, where they can feel like they're part of something that truly makes a difference in kids' and families' lives. So if this has helped you get clear in your leadership, then please comment with the word clarity wherever you're listening or watching this. And once again, thank you for subscribing, following, liking, sharing. If you haven't done that, please tick those boxes, subscribe, follow, like, share. It helps us to help more leaders like you become the very best they can be. And thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your time. It's great to spend time with you, and I look forward to spending some more time with you soon. Have a great day.